gorgeous souls. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting here, I just got back from the gym and breakfast with a friend. So I'm still in my gym gear. I have actually followed my intuition to Bali at the moment, if you haven't realized from my stories. But I have followed my intuition, followed the pull, followed the nudge to come to Bali. And it was such a wild, crazy decision, because at the point of making this decision, we had just got back from Japan, right? We'd just gone back from our ski trip from Japan, but my intuition spoke and it came through so strong. And it was just like, you need to go to Bali. You need to be there. There was no explanation. And the thing with intuition, there won't be this rationality. There won't be this logical reasoning for this. It just speaks and it comes through strong. And I was receiving all of these signs. And this is how I live my life. This is how I choose to live my life. Because the thing with intuition and what I want to speak about in, how to bend time in this specific live to receive what it is that you truly want with so much ease and faster than you could have ever logically imagined and thought of with the logical mind. Because a lot of us, we're making these decisions from our logical mind rather than our intuition. And our intuition is actually tapped into the quantum field of limitless possibilities. And there's no time in the quantum. So I'm going to talk about this in a second. Really, really powerful. So I want to share a story of when I actually landed here. So you might have seen that I attended a full moon circle, a women's circle. And it was such a beautiful space. And the reason that I wanted to come here when I did was to actually go to this event. This was my desire to go to this women's circle. But on the way, things felt like they weren't working out. So the flight was delayed, first and foremost. We arrived late. The baggage was taking so long to come through. I had to stop myself and say, hang on a second. If I could actually close my eyes and imagine myself being at this women's circle, at this full moon circle, then there's already a version of me who is living out that reality. So I talk about this all of the time. There is already a version of you in the quantum field. So the quantum field is, the space where everything already exists, everything from the past, everything from the future, every possible reality already exists. And if you're thinking, Ashley, I've completely lost you, this is so woo-woo, it's really not. It's quantum physics. We're talking about quantum physics, right? So if I could close my eyes and imagine, hello, hi, so lovely to see you. If I can imagine myself being at this women's circle, then there's already a version of me who exists in the quantum field who is already at that circle, who is already at this women's circle. Because the thing with time, I'm just sitting on these pillows trying to get up. The thing with time is that time is a construct that we have created based on, how many laps the sun does around the earth, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, that's how many laps the sun does, therefore there's that many hours in a day. But how often do we go through our day and say, well, there's not enough time, or we're running late to an event and it's like, there's not enough time. So we're literally saying there's not enough time, so therefore we're creating that same reality. But when we can tap in and tune into the quantum where there's no time, there's no such thing as time in the quantum field. So at this point, when I was waiting for my baggage and I was waiting and I was in this stressful situation of there's not enough time, I switched that and said, okay, I'm going to start playing in this realm of bending time, of focusing on what I do want to experience instead of thinking and repeating to myself that there's not enough time to make it to this specific event. So instead, I focused on the reality that I wanted to experience. I focused on the reality where I was walking into this women's circle with so much time, with a regulated nervous system, with so much calmness in this state. And I kept focusing on that. And it was just like this beautiful thing that happened. As soon as I made that internal decision that, of course, there's enough time. Of course, I'm going to make it on time. My baggage came through. I walked out, there was no lines, found my driver, and there was literally like no traffic on the roads. And this should be like peak hour traffic time, right? But I kept focusing on, when I was in the car, I was like focusing on the reality that I wanted to experience, where I was walking into this women's circle and I had all of this time. And when I was focusing on that instead of the reality of I'm going to be late, there's not enough time, things started to open up, right? Things started to open up and I started to experience the reality that I wanted to experience, where there was like no traffic on the roads. And I kid you not, like the shortest period of time went by. And the driver was like, oh, we're here at your villa. I was like, no, this can't be right. I looked at the map and I was just like, okay, yes, I'm in Canggu. I'm at my villa. What the heck has gone on? I literally had to Google, it sounds so silly right now, but I had to Google, what time is it in Bali? Because I could not believe that I had an hour and a half left to spare before going into this women's circle. So I went from the space of there's not enough time, I'm going to miss this event, to shifting my focus onto what it is that I wanted to experience. And I released the how, and I arrived with time to spare. So what I'm getting from this specific scenario and sharing this story with you is that you have the ability to tap into the quantum. You have the ability to attract what you desire now, not when you've done a certain things, not when a certain amount of hours have passed, because we have such a unconscious relationship with time because we have been so conditioned to believe that there is a certain amount of hours in a day, right? There's a certain amount of hours in a day, or this amount of time has to pass until I attract this, or I have to do a certain amount of things until I attract that thing that I want. But when you start to play in the quantum, when you start to actually shift your relationship with time, you attract things so much easier and so much faster as well. Just like the story where I literally, everything lined up to give me exactly what I wanted, which was going to that women's circle that night. So I actually created a full module on this in yesterday's module in Rewired to Abundant. If you want to go deeper into this, to start playing into the quantum, to start tuning to that version of you who already has what it is that you desire, shifting your relationship with time so that you can receive things so much more faster. And this is the work that I do with my clients as well. And this is how, it's shifting that perception from thinking that there's this amount of time between receiving what they desire and I help them close that gap to receive things so much faster, because there is no reason that you can't attract what it is that you desire, like today. Like, think of what you desire in the next year. What if it came in within the next month? That is the potency of playing in this realm. So I'm so excited for you. I just wanted to come on here to just say a big hello from Bali. So I have moved here for some time. So this is where I will be hanging out and playing from and serving my clients. So I'm so excited to be here, and I love you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.